Actually, so both are underway, and I'll give you examples of both. So back in June, when for the first time, I told my community about tokenization, I said, people say, what inning of the ball game am I in? Am I in the seventh inning? Am I in the sixth inning? And I said, in June last year, I said, you're not in the first inning. The pitcher is walking out to the mound and he's kind of just, turning his arm over, but the first pitch hasn't been delivered yet in tokenization of real estate.
Right.
Obviously, there's other things being tokenized. That's no longer true. The pitchers now delivered the first pitch in many different ways. And I'll give you examples, both for what you asked me. Your question is, okay, it sounds like people can make investments. That's great. But what about sponsors? I'm going to give you both examples. So in the last 6 or 7 months, a number of companies have successfully tokenized real estate products of different kinds. So first, I'll go with the consumer. There's a company called Lofty, Lofty .ai. All of these companies don't have .com domains, so .ai. And Lofty.ai is an Oakland-based company that is now tokenizing single-family homes in Cincinnati, in Cleveland, Detroit, St. Louis. So these are 100-year-old, $100,000 properties that they're tokenizing without taking any kind of loans on them. The same sort of thing is being done by a second company called Realty. That is REALT. REALT. I think it's .co. And those people are doing even larger volumes of single family homes. Now, this is interesting to people because they can go out to the Lofty website and they can spend $50 and buy a portion of a home in Cincinnati or Cleveland. And each month they will receive their portion of the rents. Somebody else is managing the property. They're just getting their portion of the rent. So it's interesting, right? And they're also getting a piece of the upside. So if that property has capital appreciation, they'll get that piece as well. But the challenge is it's extraordinarily difficult to do all of the tokenization stuff for one $100,000 property. So most people are saying, look, the true potential of this is like stocks, because Google is a $1 trillion company broken up into millions and millions of shares. Right. Isn't that the value? So a lot of people are saying, let's go bigger. Let's look at multifamily hotels. Let's look at offices. Let's tokenize this. So there are now companies looking to tokenize those things. And once again, in the last 6 months, we're still in the first inning here. Multiple companies have done that. So the examples are Securitize. Securitize is now securitizing commercial assets. And who are they working with? The Sam Wilsons of the world. Sam wants to buy a multifamily property and it's $30 million. And he raises $5 million of equity from his investors and he wants another $2 or $3 million. So he goes to Securitize, and Securitize does both. So Securitize first builds a white label portal for Bricken Investment Group and their project with all the pictures of the property. And then the other part of Securitize, and you can just choose to do the white labeling part if all you want to do is run people through. You've got more investors that you want investing at the $5,000, $10,000 level, still have to be accredited, unfortunately, for now. And so now you can just simply say, hey, build me a white label portal for Bricken for this property, and I'll send my investors there and they can invest. How are they? They're still investing dollars, but the money that the rents are coming into their wallet. And this is where things are different. Tokens, right. The money comes into a wallet, and that wallet is usually an Ethereum wallet, and you can have that wallet on lots of different exchanges. Now, at any point in time, you can go into that wallet and say, put this money in my bank, right? And whatever the value is on that day of Ethereum in the wallet is going to get transferred over to your bank roughly 5 minutes later. So it's completely liquid, right? And at any point in time, you can also say, I want to sell this token for whatever its value is today. So you can sell it. With syndication, though, when you give $100,000 to Sam, you can never make an instant decision to sell your share. It's illiquid. The secondary market really doesn't exist, though we've seen some spotty, versions of it. But let's be honest, 99.999% of syndication shares are illiquid. That is not true of a token, because the token's not just on Sam's portal. Sam can say, I want this token also to be visible on the Securitize main site, your marketplace. I want it to be visible there. So my investors can go into the portal and say, I want to sell this token. And now that token is listed on the Securitize main website where there's thousands of investors, dozens of different sponsors, and somebody can buy my token within 20 or 30 minutes. And just like with stock, you can say, I don't want to sell my share for less than this amount. You can say that. And you can sell it, it only sells if it sells for more than that amount. Right. So now my security becomes liquid. So Securitize is doing that. Another company that's doing it is Solid Blocks, and they've done some of this in the US, and they're Israel-based company. Most of the tokenization is actually occurring in Europe. Europe is far ahead. Israelis are far ahead. It's coming to the US in the last 3 or 4 months. Solid Blocks, for example, just did a set of detox centers in Florida on December 22nd. That was considered one of the pioneering tokenization offerings in the US. Hotels have been done, even large ones have been done in Europe. And so this is on its way. There's 5 or 6 different companies now focusing on tokenizing assets for sponsors such as Sam Wilson. And those companies were not public, were not doing this publicly back in June. So here's what I want to say. This is $100 trillion opportunity for real estate. It's $1 trillion. That's 1,000 billion, right? And we're in the first inning. So if there's anybody here, and I think that's 100% of the people listening right now, that said, I wish I could go back to 2011, knowing what I know about multifamily. You're in 2011 for real estate tokenization. And I'll give you an analogy. In 2011, Bitcoin was $1. Today, it's $40,000. Right. Wouldn't you want to go back to 2011 and get involved in the Bitcoin revolution? Well, today in tokenization, that token's really at $1.